Everybody have a good Merry Christmas. Ready for the new year? I spend my New Year's every year with a bunch of tired teenagers. We do our annual lock-in on New Year's, so it's the hardest event of the year to get volunteers for, and I cannot figure out why. It's honestly my favorite too. So my wife Hannah down here, and I'm Sam. We're actually over the youth ministry here at Revive, and super excited and honored that they asked me to share a message with you guys today. I've been racking my brain though the last couple days. How am I going to communicate to you guys exactly what it means when like a youth leader, youth pastor preaches on a Sunday? I couldn't figure it out, so I decided maybe I'll just use a graphic to kind of explain it, if you want to throw that up there. Just want to be fully transparent of what's actually going on up here today, what you can expect. So make sure we're all really setting our expectations very clearly this morning. But honestly, thank you guys so much for the opportunity to do this. Seriously means so much. And I just want to say thank you to our pastors. Like when you get up here and you speak, it's risky in today's society. We live in a cancel culture. And so the fact that we have pastors that get up here and they're brave and they hit you with the truth, that is seriously so valuable. So valuable. I thought of a story in the Bible about that, when they carry the lame man up and they tear open the roof and they lower the man down to Jesus. That's kind of what pastoring's like, except sometimes when you're lowering the person, they're also trying to get you canceled. That's, I think, a really good visual of like what it's like to be a pastor sometimes. So cool, I already offended someone. So we're off to a good start. That's great. So I wanted to share a little bit of some things God's been doing in youth as well. My wife and I and the team, we've been working really, really hard on a curriculum down there for our youth, making sure we're hitting on some really key, important points with them in the development of their faith. High school is the final frontier before adulthood. So it's a really important time to get a strong faith and a firm faith. This year too, we rolled out a thing called builder groups, and they're small groups that you're broken up into with different leaders in the groups so there can be more intentional discipleship and connection. We just rolled that out, and we're gonna roll that out even more in the new year. And a couple months ago, we actually, we were in a moment of worship and somebody came in with something just kind of dark and heavy on them. And in the middle of worship, there was a moment of deliverance for that person. And I believe whatever that dark thing was on them, that left during worship. And so it's really cool. I shared that with Pastor JD. He was like, you should mention that. There aren't a lot of youth groups in town where there's deliverance happening. And so I'm proud of our kids because they worship strong, they pray strong in there. They create an atmosphere where things like that can happen. And we tell them every week, if you ever hear the voice that you're alone in this, that's a lie from the enemy. You have 6 volunteers down there every week, and the reason we do it is to be there for you, to be strong for you. And so if you ever hear the lie that you're alone, that's a lie. That's a lie. So just some cool things happening down in youth. I love our group. I'm really proud of them. They love Jesus and they get along, which is, for the most part, they get along. I mean, most of the time. So, okay, under your chairs, you'll find, most of you will for sure. We ran out in this section, so I really apologize. I got a ton of them. I thought I had enough. You'll find a ping pong ball. If you want to grab that. I forgot the paddles. You're right. Thank you. I'm doing a visual because this is called the Sleepy Sunday. It's the Sunday between Christmas and New Year's. So we're gonna do a visual to help everybody wake up a little bit. All right, this game's pretty simple. I saw this online. This is not an original. I saw this online. I really liked it. So I really wanted to see what would happen if we tried it here. So what I'm gonna have you do is you got your ping pong ball. I'm gonna have you try and throw that ping pong ball into this cup all at once. So I'm gonna count down, try and keep track of your ball. Back row to front row. Get ready. Jonathan, put your Bo Nix on. I know you're very proud of him right now. All right. Who already threw? Someone throwing them at me? All right. I'm gonna count down 3. You're trying to make it to the cup. I'm gonna go over here. So if you hit me, it's for sure intentional. Whoa, you gotta stay in your seat. I forgot to say that part. I didn't say, my bad. I mean, if you came up here, it'd be too easy. You gotta stay. You're right, my fault. Yeah, you can stand up. All right, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Corey, one ball per person. Get that, Pastor James, get that out of here. Really? What? Oh, Peter, that was close. Okay, all right. People are picking them up. Who's picking them up? All right. Wow, I literally feel like I'm in youth right now. I'm like having to rally everyone in. This is great, thank you, wow. Let's stick to Pastor Steve, he would be the one to make one too. Oh, who was that? Wow, that was phenomenal. Is that a Broncos? Bears. That one hit me in the head. Who was that? God, man, we got some quarterbacks in here. I heard we might need a replacement, so actually, I was just kidding. I didn't mean like permanently. I just meant he got injured. That's crazy. None of you made it. That was a lot. There's quite a few ping pong balls here. The ball represents the resources we're given in our lives. If it's from the education we grow up with, if the upbringing you have, whatever it is, it represents the resources. And your throw, your arm, the strength you have, that's your talent, that's your ability, things like that. We all had the same ball, and I have no sort of significant talent at getting a ping pong ball in a cup. The only difference between my ability to make the ball in and your inability to was my nearness. Heading into 2026, the greatest goal you can set for yourself, your family, is a greater nearness to the fire of God. This morning, I'm gonna talk you through some different seasons that you face in life and some seasons you might even face in 2026. Drawing near to God is a non-seasonal activity. Every moment in your life is a qualified moment to turn and draw near to God. Every moment in your life is qualified for you to draw near to God. Different seasons do require different tactics, tools, and sometimes different language that can help you draw near. So my goal today is to equip you with the things you need to draw near to God in whatever season you're in. And as I go through these different seasons, I'm confident that one of them you'll be able to relate to and connect with. The first season I want to take you through this morning is the season of struggle. In a season of struggle, there are sometimes things that happen to you that cause that struggle. And if that's you this morning, if something's happened to you, a loss in the family, a car accident, something like that that's kind of put you in a hard spot, I just pray the closeness of God, the love and the peace of God for you. The struggle I want to talk to you about this morning, though, is the one that more often happens, which is the one that we cause ourselves by some neglect in our lives, neglecting something in our lives. And Jesus talks about this. He says, even the branches that produce fruit, even the believers, they require maintenance from the gardener. In John 15, 1-4, if you want to turn there with me, it says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit. So he cuts off that which bears no fruit. And he prunes, and while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it'll be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the words I've spoken to you. Remain in me as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. In your season of struggle, start out, if you're not seeing the fruit you want in your life, start out by allowing God to prune back the things that might be preventing your fruitfulness. I think a lot of people say, man, I'm not seeing the fruit of my life I want in this area, in this area, in this area. But then when the gardener comes close to start pruning, they call it religion. They say it's only for the zealot. It's only for the pastor. Pruning is not punishment. It's preparation for more fruit. So when the gardener comes and prunes you in a time of struggle, when you're going through something, when you're working through something, take it as a sign that you're someone who's producing fruit. Because it says the branches that produce no fruit are cut off. So pruning is a sign that you are someone who produces fruit. So allow him to come in and begin to prune. So draw near to God by allowing the gardener to draw near to you and to prune and cut out the sin, cut out unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is a bitter thing that steals a lot of fruit. A lot of fruit. James 1, 2-4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. I like how he just casually says that. Yeah, just, pure joy, guys, come on. I'm like, dude, that's hard. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Perseverance is the fruit that replaces your season of pruning, your season of struggle. Once God has pruned you and cut away the sin, cut away the things in your season of struggle, once you focus on that, the cutting away, the eliminating of the things that separate you from God, begin to nourish the things that you know draw you closer to him. Begin to nourish the things that get the fruit you're looking for. And I love this. If you wanted to demotivate the enemy from attacking you, from things happening in your life, you like thing after thing, maybe stop letting it rock the boat so much. If you start finding joy in the struggle, eventually the enemy's gonna be like, dude, I'm just like unlocking joy. That's a tricky spot. I think another important step to expediting the season of struggle, getting through it as quick as you can, expediting the pruning in your life and the nourishment in your life is having good advisors in your life, good counsel. Like the story of Rehoboam. I don't know if you guys know this, or I'll just summarize it. The son of Solomon, he became king. He had a tricky decision to make. He went to wise counsel and he went to his peers. He took the advice of his peers and it went very, very wrong. Very, very wrong. The best way to pick someone to be the advisor in your life on what you should prune and what you should nourish, the best way to check it is by checking their fruit. Check their fruit. One of my favorite Pastor James quotes, he's given me so much advice over the years and mentored me so much. One of my favorite quotes, he says, make your losses quick. Set a time limit on yourself to process and learn from what happened. Once that short set time period is up, get back up and get back to building. The enemy loves to compound hard things. For example, I'm upset about this thing. And then you tell 8 people, and now those 8 people are upset about it. And now you miss this opportunity. Then the Lord told you to obey something, but you're still just about something else. The enemy loves to compound hard things. Likes to make it last as long as possible. So make your losses short. Seek wise counsel. Felt specifically this morning, I felt like the Lord, I kept like almost removing this part, but I felt like the Lord, there's some man in the room that I felt like the Lord really wanted me to share this with. So if this, you just grab onto it. If you're in the early stages of a struggle, like if you've made one mistake, a lot of times people will make one mistake, they dig themselves into a hole a little bit, and then out of panic, they just keep digging, and they make the hole deeper and deeper. Early on, I had an advisor tell me that. He said, don't let pride and embarrassment of the initial mistake stop you from seeking wise counsel, because it's a lot harder to undo 13 mistakes than it is to undo one. So for some person in the room, I felt like that was specifically for you, that you're in the early stages, you slipped up on something, and maybe you're hesitant to bring it to an advisor. I wanted to tell you to minimize the cost of that mistake. Bring it to someone. Bring it to someone who can help. So after pruning and the nourishment, after seeking wise counsel, sometimes in the season of struggle, you're left with one remaining thing to draw near to God. And that's supernatural breakthrough. This is like one of my favorite little topics. So in Psalms 40, if you guys want to turn to that, love this chapter. I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and the mire, and he set my feet on a rock, and he gave me a firm place to stand. And he put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in him. If you exhausted all odds and you still feel like you're in a season of struggle, turn to the Lord and he will hear your cry. He will lift you out of that pit. He will set your feet on a solid rock. A couple years ago, when we had Reuben, we were having a pretty hard time during the labor process. And we were hitting some complications, having some struggles. And to lighten this, I'm gonna first tell you something funny that happened, because it's a little more serious. But the doctor came in, we're about 20 hours in, and the doctor came in and we're talking through it, and we're just like, what is going on? And the doctor's in there, and we have like worship music playing in the back. We're setting the mood. The Lord's in the room with us, like we're trying to set the mood as best we can. We have the oils, what are they called? Essential oil going, that's what they do. The essential oils going in the room, so it smelled good, and worship music. We were playing You Don't Give Your Heart in Pieces, like those songs. And we were saying, well, you know how Apple has that new thing where you can do infinite shuffle, and then it like adds songs, like randomly. So we're standing there, we're talking to the doctor, and we're just talking through all this stuff. And then in the background, all of a sudden, it switched songs, and the doctor keeps giving me this dirty look. And I'm like, why does she keep giving me this dirty look? And he's going, let love explode and bring the dead to life. Like the Newsboys song came on. God's not dead. He's surely alive. And we're like, doctor, what do we do? She's like, I can't think. Like, what do you mean? What do we do? So finally I heard it as soon as it started talking about shaking the ground with revival. I was like, oh, this isn't the right song. I went over and changed that. But after we got through the whole birthing process, there was a moment where we had Reuben sitting in one of those plastic baskets, and Hannah and I just looked at each other and we held hands, and we both just teared up for a moment. And there was a really hard moment in time for us. We looked at each other and teared up, and we just felt the presence of God in the room with us. And I felt just such a deep love for her, and she felt a deep love for me, and we both just teared up in gratitude for the Lord. And I'll never forget that moment. We still talk about that moment a lot. Sometimes deep struggle produces deep closeness with those around you. Don't neglect the power of struggle and the strength it can produce in the relationships with those around you. In struggle, draw near to God by letting him prune what separates you from him. Draw near to him by nourishing the things that produce the fruit you want. Allow your perseverance to grow. Expedite the pruning and nourishment process by seeking wisdom and counsel. Draw near to God by linking arms with those around you. And I'm going to say this again, deep struggle can produce deep closeness. So run close to God, draw close to him in a season of struggle. In your season of waiting, I think this is probably one of the most confused or mixed up seasons in this topic. So I wanted to bring some clarity to it. You might be waiting for that next career. You might be waiting for a ministry opportunity. Again, I want, while you're listening to this, just grab onto the one that you feel like kind of connects with the season you're in at the moment. You might be waiting to find your spouse or find whatever. You might be waiting for your kids to move out. I won't look at anybody. For believers, these seasons are done in communion with the Lord. Waiting is done in communion with the Lord. So I think one of the biggest misconceptions of modern day Christianity is getting caught in constant waiting. And you're actually in a season of wandering. You're just kind of wandering around life, but the enemy has kind of tricked the situation and labeled it as you're waiting for X to happen before you really start trying out a relationship with God. Like King Saul in the Bible, Samuel, he was out to battle. I know a lot of you know this story. He was out to battle and the troops were growing fearful. They were waiting for Samuel to come and offer the sacrifice. And finally Saul was like, I'm gonna just do it. And he did it. He did that out of pride, out of fear of what the people around him thought. And he rushed God's timing. There is a season of waiting, and impatience can still be disobedience. So if you truly are in a season of waiting, I encourage you to keep drawing near to God and asking him for his timing and what the season of waiting is for. Because God is not wasteful. Even in a season of waiting, he's probably trying to develop something in you, probably trying to grow something inside of you. So I don't want to underplay the season of waiting, but I do think a lot of people confuse wandering from waiting. And of course, the classic wandering story is Moses and the Israelites. God told him to speak to the rock. Instead, he struck it. He disobeyed the Lord, and that turned a season of waiting into a season of wandering the desert for 40 years. That's a lot of wandering. The biggest way to tell the difference between a season of waiting and waiting is in communion with the Lord, and wandering is in the absence of him. Waiting is in communion with the Lord. Wandering is in the absence of him. A season of wandering is caused by sin, by apathy. So start by drawing near to God, by having the conversation with him. Am I in a season of waiting? Am I really in a season of waiting? Or have I deceived myself and I'm actually in a season of wandering because I'm missing something? What a good tactic for the enemy, right? If he can keep a bunch of Christians just wandering around in the desert, doesn't make Christianity super appealing. John 21. This section, the disciples are out fishing. This is after the resurrection, and Jesus appears to them and he says, cast the net on the other side. And when they're out there, one of them yells, is that the Lord? Because when they cast the net on the other side, they got a bunch of fish. He says, is that the Lord? And then they start heading back to shore. Well, Peter just jumps out of the boat and he swims to shore and he grabs onto the Lord. God's never asking you to wait to draw near to him. Your season of waiting is not a wait. Hey, whoa, not right now, kiddo. Like it's not that dynamic with God. He always is ready for you. He always wants to be near to you. So if you're caught in a repetitive season of waiting this morning, jump out of your boat. Draw near to God. And maybe that one action's the actual breakthrough you need to get out of a season of wandering. It's one of my favorite quotes. C.S. Lewis. Look for Christ and you will find him, and with him, everything else. I love that. Like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, got it. Sweet. Look for Christ and you will find him, and with him, everything else. Gosh, I love that. So ask the Lord, am I in a season of waiting? Draw near to the Lord by asking him, am I in a season of waiting or wandering? Seek what area the Lord may be developing you in. He is never asking you to wait to draw near to him. Your waiting season is never waiting to be with the Father. He wants you now. As we sang earlier, he's a jealous God. In the season of waiting, jump out of the boat, and I promise at that shore you will find him. You'll find everything else. The last season I want to talk to you guys about is the season of victory. So you can say, okay, cool. This one should be a little bit more chill, right? Like these have been a little, I don't know. Just maybe ask your neighbor, hey, like what season are you in? No, don't do that, it's too personal. But ask maybe just say, hey, are you in a season of victory? Go ahead, ask your neighbor. I'm trying to get you guys going a little bit. I don't have any more ping pong balls. No, that's too personal too. Oh, was that Paul? Who was that? Was that? Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks a lot for that. All right. In a season of victory, I think this is probably the most neglected one, just because when people get to a good place, they stop considering so much their spiritual life, their depth. They get a little relaxed spiritually. Their kids are obeying, their career's clicking, finances are manageable or growing. The joy is back in their marriage, whatever it may be. But here's some ways, because it's important. Again, drawing near to God is a non-seasonal activity. So in victory, draw near to God in gratitude. Exodus 15:1, I love this. I caught this the other day when I was reading this. So after the Red Sea split and they walked through, and then Pharaoh and all his men, and then the Red Sea crashed down, killed them all, right? Then they're on the other side. And in the next chapter, at the very beginning, the first word, it says, then, as in like, bam. Right after that happened, they turned around, they're like, whoa. And their first response was, let's sing a song. Let's worship the Lord. That was crazy. So in a season of victory, run to your champion. Run to your king in gratitude. That is an easy way to draw near to the Lord. Draw near by being strong for someone else. One thing I love about our church is we emphasize the being a producer in the kingdom of God. A lot of churches emphasize the consumer side, and it's good to get help. If you need help, get help. Like, let the Lord help you. But is there ever a season where you're in a place where you can help someone else? And that's where you turn from that consumer to a producer. John 15:13, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend. When you have strength, give it. When you have life, lay it down. I love this. We get to participate in the greatest love of all time by a simple act of laying down yourself, laying down your comfort or something for someone else. You get to participate in the greatest love of all time. And another way to draw close to the Lord is by catching his momentum. God is a God of momentum. His goodness is like a bomb. When he drops it on you, he expects it to get on some people around you as well. It's one of my favorite quotes too. Good is the enemy of great. It's a book on business, but I think it applies heavily to a walk of faith as well. If something good happened in your life, don't stop at good enough. This is a good thing. It's good enough. Thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you, Lord. Good might be positioning, that good thing, that blessing in your life. It might be enabling you for something greater. It might be positioning you to become more productive for the kingdom. So ask the Lord, is this victory actually positioning me for something greater? Because comfort is the quiet danger of success, and good is the quiet danger of greatness. So don't allow yourself to be a good enough Christian. It's pretty good. I'm managing things well. Things are working okay. It's good enough. When God's calling you to greatness. Just like David, he killed the lion and the bear and he saved his flock, but thank God he didn't stop there. That was preparation for him to kill his Goliath. It was a launch pad. Just like Elijah on Mount Carmel, he called down fire and he eliminated the idolatry, the prophets of Baal. And after that, he could have been like, good day's work. But after that, he went and he prayed and he called down the rain in a drought. So maybe you've seen some fire in your life, some success, some progress, but maybe you're also called for that next level of greatness. So don't stop at the lion or the bear. Don't just call down fire, but also call down the rain for those around you. So the way to draw near in a season of victory is gratitude like Moses. Be strong for someone else and lay your life down for someone else like Jesus, and pursue the greater victory like David and Elijah. I want to end with this here. I read this book this year. It just kind of wrecked me. It's called Crazy Love by Francis Chan. Has anyone read that? And in this book, he talks about the profile of the lukewarm. And I was thinking about, I said, what is the number one sign of a believer not being close to the Lord? And I think that number one sign are the signs of the lukewarm. But this section absolutely wrecked me, so I pulled some of his ideas from this, but I wanted to read this to you. And profile of the lukewarm. So this is him defining what a lukewarm person looks like. Lukewarm people attend church fairly regularly It is what is expected of them and what they believe good Christians do, so they go. Lukewarm people give money to charity and to the church as long as it doesn't take away from their current level of lifestyle. Lukewarm people say they love Jesus, and yes, he is a part of their life, a part, but he doesn't control any part of their lives. He's just an element in the mix. Lukewarm people love God, but they do not love him with all their heart, soul, and strength. They would be quick to assure you that they try to love God that much, but that sort of total devotion isn't really possible for the average person. It's only for pastors and missionaries and radicals. Lukewarm people will serve God and others, but there are limits to how far they will go or how much time, money, and energy they're willing to give. They read a blog about setting boundaries on things to make sure they're getting enough time for themselves. And one of the things they set boundaries on is God. Lukewarm people do not live by faith. Their lives are structured so they never have to. They do the same thing week in and week out. They have positioned themselves where there's little to no opportunity for God to ask them to do anything outside their comfort zone. They just clock in and clock out every Sunday, just like they do with their job on Monday. The best way to avoid being lukewarm is to draw close to the fire. If a believer is avoiding nearness to the fire, there's most likely something that fire will burn up that they are not ready to let go of. If this morning our primary goal is not a nearness to God, then something is wrong. If my goal as a father and as a husband for my home is not a continued prioritization of the nearness of God for my kids and my wife, then something is wrong. The problem is that I had grown lukewarm. In 2026, if you're in a season of struggle, then prune the things that get between you and God. Nurture the things that draw you closer to him, and break through struggle by leaning into his supernatural power. If you're in a season of waiting, jump out of your boat. Don't confuse your waiting and wandering. Even if you're in a season of waiting, God still wants to be near you. So jump out of that boat. If you're in a season of victory, find a new level of joy and gratitude. Be strong for someone around you and seek the next greater victory. And if you are lukewarm this morning, if you feel you've drawn away from the fire, whatever is holding you back from drawing near to the fire, let it burn. You guys can stand up with me. I just wanted to end with us taking a moment, partially because there's ping pong balls all over the prayer floor. And the stage. You guys okay up here? Yeah. Okay. I wanted to take a little bit of time though and just worship. And if you're with your family, just grab onto your family. And I want to sing this song together. I just want to take a moment where as a church, we just draw near to God. We just draw near. We draw near to that fire. We allow him to prune away the sin in our lives, things that separate us from him. We nourish the things that get us close to him. I want to go to a church where we're all so close to the Lord. When visitors walk through the door, like, man, something's different in here. God's just here. I can just feel him here. It used to be people would pull onto the property and they'd say, man, I feel something different. Like as soon as I pulled on, I feel something different. And that's achieved from that nearness to God.